More and more starting to eat fresh on the homestead. That is delicious. Very tart. Hey guys, it's Katie Kate on the homestead. The third day of our heat wave here in southeastern Ontario. I'm just out this morning picking some currants. They're really beautiful and abundant this year. Picking berries is a pretty tedious job. And I remember doing this years ago, and I remember how overwhelmed I felt and how rushed I felt. I think a lot of the homesteading lifestyle and a sustainable lifestyle does involve patience. And even if you're short on it, you'll cultivate it here. This year, I feel like I have a better start on things. I'm picking these before they're rotting off the bush. It's giving me a bit more time. I don't have to pick this entire bush today. I'll do an hour, do what I can, work with what I get, and then I'll come out and do some more at my next opportunity. First thing I'm gonna do is put some of these in some oatmeal and have a nice little snack for lunch. Currants are not necessarily my favorite berry, but growing them in abundance like this has certainly made me like them more. I have some online work to do at noon, so I can't dive into a huge project this morning. Plus, it's very, very hot. But I thought I would update you on what I've been working on and some of the plans that I have. So this morning I've just been out. I was painting, working on the murals on my outbuildings because I just love the art. It makes me so happy. Yesterday afternoon, I went into town to pick up the strapping for the roof of my wood barn. And while I was shopping, I picked up 3 quarts of paint, some new colors to spread around. I had to get some self-tapping screws. I needed more 4-inch deck screws, 2.5-inch screws, just some supplies. So I do have everything now to start that roof. That's something obviously I have never done before. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm using the feed barn as a reference to see how that's put together. Although apparently that's not necessarily done properly. So yesterday, my neighbor came by to have a beer just to beat the heat when he was done work. And we started talking about my plans for the roof. And he helped me to understand the materials I'm working with and helped me plan out where I'm going to put the strapping, where I'm going to position it, how far apart it needs to be. We also talked about working with the tin, and I was calling it steel, but it's tin, it's sheet metal. How pliable it is, and working on the roof and noticing how the grooves go, how it's supposed to lay. So that was really helpful because I had planned to lay it perpendicular to how it's supposed to lay. Because of how the grooves in the metal are, it's meant to be laid vertically, not horizontally, so that snow specifically can can fall off of it. The tin will be really slippery, so not a lot's going to want to stick to it. But if I lay it horizontally, things will collect in those grooves. The carport frame is not extremely structural, so it is important that I try to keep the weight off of it. So I did end up dropping some coin yesterday. The screws weren't cheap. I also needed a bit for my driver to put them in. I always joke and say that's why I don't want to leave my property, because every time I leave, I spend at least $100. But at the end of the day, having a tin roof on that wood barn will definitely be worth the investment. Not only the money, but also the elbow grease. So painting has been a pretty easy thing to do in this heat. It's low effort. So I got out and spread some paint around, brighten stuff up. Makes me happy. I returned one of the jack posts yesterday that I had purchased. I think I'll try to make do with the shorter ones. I returned the 96-inch post that I had purchased because I think it was a bit overkill for the place I wanted to put it, and I just put the money towards my wood shed project instead. Once the woodshed project is done, the next big thing on my radar will be the animal enclosure, and I expect that that'll happen, probably in the next month or so. When my neighbor cleans out his barn, that's when we're going to do it, because he'll have an excavator that we can use for the task. Other than that, I should have baby chicks in a week or so, so that's pretty exciting. I'm checking on Frida every day. No sign of them yet. She did lose one egg out of the nest. I'm not sure what happened, if it was a bad egg that she pushed out or if she just accidentally knocked it out. But she's sitting on at least 5, so hopefully I'll have some new baby chicks. It was this time last year that I had the chicks before the raccoon attack, so it's timely. And of course now I've got that trap set, so that's helpful. I'm really excited for summer. I feel like I've got a really good head start on everything this year. I don't feel as far behind as I have the past 2 years, dealing with the fire repairs as well as preparing for the season. In a lot of ways, it feels like summer's already over, and it hasn't even started. It's not even June 21st yet. My kid's not even on summer vacation. So yeah, I'm just really, really looking forward to 2024 summer on the homestead. Okay, well, that's all I have to show you this morning. This afternoon, I might get on the mower and just cut some grass. Depending on this weather, if it's really hot, I will not be getting out and trying to work on that roof. It'll be too much, and I don't want to get heat stroke again. So we are expecting a huge storm to roll in after this heat wave. It's typically what happens. We'll probably get a really big thunderstorm that'll break the heat. So we'll see if we have a really rainy weekend or not, if I'll just be working inside doing my chores. But I will definitely keep you posted on this roof project. It'll be one of the bigger projects that I've ever tackled, so I'm pretty excited. And now I'm working with new materials, so that's going to make it easier. Well, I mean, aside from the tin is repurposed, but the wood and the screws and everything, they're all brand new, so it should be fun. Challenging, but fun. Okay, we'll see how many of these currants I can get picked before noon, and then find a recipe and see what I want to do with them. I froze these before, but they ended up sitting in my freezer, and I did end up tossing a bunch away. I have made red currant mead before with honey and currants. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to look up some recipes and see what my options are. But, more and more starting to eat fresh. on the Homestead. That is delicious. Very tart. All right, guys. Until next time, happy, healthy living. I'm Katie Kate on the Homestead, picking berries, and I'll see you later.